Hi everyone, welcome to Style3D channel. In this video, you will learn how to render and match the fur coat. According to the concept art, create a full body design and select the pen tool. Use the comparison tool to draw patterns on the model. Select the editing pattern tool, click on the closed pattern, and press enter to finish. This way the pattern can be generated. Select all patterns, clone symmetrical patterns. Use the Symmetry tool to place a pattern symmetrically. Next, draw other patterns using the same method. The basic pattern for the top is completed. Use the sewing tool to sew the pattern pieces together. After sewing, enable simulation. Adjust the clothing's wearing shape. Create the segmentation lines for the top according to the concept art. Next, use the editing tool for wrinkles to add clothing crease details to the top. Adjust the specification of the wrinkles based on the creasing effect. At this point, we notice that there are fewer creases on the chest, and the effect is not prominent. Use the elongation line tool to modify the chest pattern, increasing the looseness. Select the editing pattern tool, select the line segment, and open the line segment elasticity tool. Reduce the line segment scale. Enable simulation. We can see that the chest creases now appear more realistic. Use the same method to create the skirt. Select the skirt pattern, choose to thin it. Adjust the values according to the desired effect. Select the skirt pattern, right-click to generate the inner layer on the inside. Release the linkage. Use the editing pattern tool to adjust the length of the inner skirt and remove the bottom stitching line. This completes the skirt hem design. Select all pattern and freeze them. Use the rectangle tool to create the bow pattern. Show anchor points, place the patterns in the appropriate position, and then adjust. Add fixed pin to secure the position of the pattern on the fabric. Select all patterns and reduce the particle spacing to 5. Freeze the shorter patterns and enable simulation. Add fixed pins to create a tight effect of the bow. Adjust the tying position. Draw stitching lines for sewing. Remove the fixed pins from the pattern and enable simulation. Adjust the pattern's position. Select the pattern, use the mirror paste to create symmetrical copies. Sew and fix the knot of the patterns. Unfreeze the shorter patterns. Adjust the pattern's position. Freeze the bow pattern. Create the loop of the bow using the shorter pattern to make it look more realistic. Adjust the pattern's position and shorten its length. Enable simulation and adjust the pattern's position. Shorten the pattern's length again. Adjust the length of the bow loop and further shorten the pattern. Unfreeze all bow pattern pieces, then adjust the position according to the concept art. Sew the anchor points and the pattern together. Enable simulation. However, the fabric appears stiff and significantly different from the concept art. Select all bow pattern pieces, open the pattern thickness settings, thin the fabric, adjusting the values based on the actual effect. Select all bow pattern pieces and freeze them. Select all the patterns, press Ctrl V to copy 3 bow pattern pieces. Sew each of the bow pieces in correspondence. This completes the bow section. Begin making the stockings. Open the asset library, search for stockings in the official market, download and click the cloud icon. After downloading the model, select and add only the stocking model. Select the pattern, adjust its position. Adjust the stocking position to make it fit the model. Delete unnecessary pattern and add the other stocking pattern. Clone symmetrically patterned pieces. Click on the Symmetry tool. Adjust the stocking position again. These are excess fabric properties in the attribute column. Delete other unnecessary ones. Select all stocking pattern pieces and unfreeze them. Enable simulation, and then let's adjust one of the stocking first. Select all pattern pieces on the other stocking and use the Symmetry tool. Adjust the other stocking as well. After simulation, freeze them. Put on high heels, and at this point we notice that the stockings and shoes are going through the model. Delete the high heels and unfreeze the stockings. Use the fixed pin tools for adjustments. After adjusting, freeze the stocking and then put on the shoes again. The shoes and stockings are now on. Next, let's rotate the view to check if they fit the model. Select all pattern pieces, unfreeze them, and disable the pattern pieces. Next, let's choose a coat from the official market. Select to add only the clothing pattern pieces. Move the pattern pieces to another position. Then adjust the position in the 3D window to make it fit the model. Delete any unnecessary pattern pieces. Select the sleeves and adjust them to the model's arms. Use the position in sphere to adjust the sleeves. Select the other side sleeves and use symmetry. Adjust the sleeve position and enable simulation. The clothing is fitting relatively too well on the model. Adjust the shape of the coat by dragging. And next, let's modify the pattern pieces. Select the editing parting tool. Select the line segments to cut. Delete some pattern pieces that don't match the original design. Then adjust the color. Select the Editing Pattern tool. Cut and sew the original color. Adjust the color pattern's position. We remove the interfacing. Select the Add Point tool to add points. According to the manuscript effect, we will change this triangular color into a quadrilateral color. Continuously adjust and elongate in 3D view. Modify the position of the original color piece. We can see that they don't match well. Select and delete points. Extend the piece. Adjust the piece according to the 3D viewport effect. Then select both edges and merge them together. During simulation, we found the side seam of the sleeve was not sewn. So sew the sleeve side seam. Simulation completed pieces modification, select all coat pieces and unify fabric material. Choose to lengthen the hem of the coat. We can see that the original manuscript showed a floor-length coat, so we need to lengthen the clothing to the appropriate position. Simulate and adjust the clothing. At this point, the coat is severely penetrating, so go back one step and delete the fixed pin on the coat. Enable simulation and adjust the coat's form. In the next stage, we will put the adjusted clothing on the model. Select the entire body piece and unfreeze it, and invalidate the internal clothing. Select all coat pieces, freeze, and hide the coat pieces. Then open the library and find shoulder pads. Choose the thickest shoulder pads, then select Add. Import shoulder pads. Select the shoulder pad pieces and convert it to an accessory. Select OK. Choose to attach it to the model's body. Adjust the shoulder pads to the right position. The shoulder pad on the other side is also converted to an accessory first, and then adjusted to a symmetrical position. Select the coat piece, show the coat, adjust the coat's position. Unfreeze the coat and enable simulation. We can see that the shoulder pads are not having effect. It's because collision is not enabled, so go back one step, hide the coat piece, then select the shoulder pads, click on the accessory icon, and enable collision in the Properties panel. Select all coat piece, show the coat 3D style, adjust the coat position, unfreeze, and simulate. We can see that the coat has been placed on top of the shoulder pads now. So adjust the position of the coat by dragging in the 3D window. Select the full body piece to activate it. Select all the pieces and choose to freeze the form. Adjust the form freezing to the highest value. Then enable simulation again. During simulation, adjust the model's pose. Choose an appropriate pose. We can see that the model's pose is slowly changing. Wait for the model to finish adjusting its pose. We can see that the pose has now been completed, but the closing pieces need some adjustment. And there is some penetration happening with the shoes and socks again. First, let's freeze all the pieces, delete the shoes, unfreeze the pieces of socks that need adjustment, then enable simulation. Let the socks be worn on the feet again, then select all sock species and unfreeze them. Enable simulation to make the socks adhere to the feet. After simulation is complete, freeze the socks again. Then we select the coat pieces, unfreeze the coat, invalidate the coat pieces, and hide the coat pieces. Select the skirt pieces and unfreeze them. Release from freezing and simulate. We can see that the skirt is adjusting itself in the 3D window. However, there are some penetration issues, so just drag on the pieces to adjust the skirt accordingly. First, invalidate the inner layer of the skirt, then simulate again to adjust the outer layer of the skirt. Freeze the outer layer of the skirt, activate the simulation for the inner layer. Unfreeze the outer layer of the skirt and simulate altogether. After adjusting the skirt, freeze them. The bows are also handled similarly. Unfreeze some pieces first. Release form freezing and let them naturally hang. Then freeze them. Select the coat pieces, show the pieces, and activate them. Select all the full body pieces, unfreeze, and invalidate all the internal full body pieces. Select all the coat pieces and cancel the coat's form freezing and simulate. Let the coat naturally hang down and adjust it in the 3D view. Adjust the details to better match the model's pose. Select the coat pieces and thin them. We can see that the coat has natural folds hanging down. Select the coat pieces and generate lining. Enable simulation. Adjust the clothing pieces in the 3D window. After adjusting all the coat pieces, freeze all except the color. Next, adjust the color shape. You can use pins to adjust the color shape for a better fit. You can rotate it to see if it's adjusted properly, and after adjustment, proceed to the next stage. Hide the 3D style to see the original texture color of the clothing. In the fabric library, choose a material that matches the one in the sketch. Add the fabric. Select the top pieces. Apply the selected material fabric to the top. According to the sketch, we can adjust the color as desired. Here we choose a color. Click Fade for a better color effect. Next, let's copy this material and select the details of the top. Apply this material to these detailed pieces, select a color, and apply. Next, let's add fabric to the skirt and choose the one we want. Select all skirt pieces and apply the chosen fabric. Select the color. Copy the fabric. Once again, Select the skirt piece, copy the fabric, and apply it. Choose a different color this time. Copy the material again. Select the straps on the socks and apply the just copied fabric. Apply another different color. Finally, let's choose the material for the socks. Select the sock pieces and apply the material. And now adjust the transparency. Then we'll set the bow and outermost skirt to the same material and cutter. Add fabric and apply it to the lining pieces of the coat. Choose a darker green color. Now let's add some folds to it. As we can see, it makes the lining look more delicate. Next, we need to remove the original texture of the shoes and change their color. Let's choose a silver color for them and change the shoe material to leather. And apply the silver color to the entire shoe surface. Adjust other parts of the shoes as well. Now the shoe color is adjusted. Finally, let's adjust the coat's fur. This is a key step. In the Material Properties panel, select Fur for rendering only. Click OK. Choose a color that matches our sketch and is darker. Open the individual color. Choose the color we want. Open the gradient color. According to the sketch, we can adjust different colors. Let's observe the rendering to change the fur's properties. Choose Area Rendering. We can see that the fur is a bit short. It's not the fur look we want. So let's adjust its fur properties in the Attribute panel. Set the length to 105, thickness to 4, curvature to 0.6, taper to 0.9, density to 350, and segments to 23. Rendering fur can cause lag, so remember to save regularly. Choose Area Rendering again. Decrease the gravity for the fur to make it fluffier. The vector XY is the gravity direction. Adjust vector XY according to the rendering effect. Now wait for the fur rendering, as it requires a significant computation. Adjust the fur radius to 1 and quantity to 50. Wait for the rendering. Next, adjust the irregular properties of the fur. Length 1, thickness 0.8. Direction 0.1, gravity 0.3, and radius 0.1. Wait for the rendering. Next, let's adjust the physical properties of the fabric. Adjust based on official fabric properties. Let's refresh the rendering to see the overall effect. If the rendered fur isn't thick enough, go back to the 2D window to adjust the panels. Select all panels and open the panel thickness. Then return to the rendering window and render again. Select the fur material. After choosing in the Properties panel, deselect the same option as the front. When changing fur properties, if you're unsure about certain settings, you can find the user manual in the top menu under Help. Type fur in the search bar. Here you can see explanation for various fur properties. You can read through them and adjust the fur to your liking. In the fur properties, let's change the length of the fur on the back. Make it shorter to reveal the lining. This way you can see the delicate lining of the fur coat. Next, let's add some jewelry. Download your preferred jewelry from the official marketplace and import it. Adjust the jewelry's position. Select Paste. Paste the jewelry on the model's neck and adjust its position. After adjusting, let's render again. If you've achieved the desired effect, you can choose to do the final rendering. Here we're fine-tuning the photo property that we want. And then use the Photoshop to complete the showroom picture. That's it, guys. If you like what we do, please like, comment, and share this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one, and I hope the tips will help your modeling work. Bye.